Hi there, it's Brooke. Today I'm going to make some lemon pepper shrimp and chicken because me and the oldest like shrimp and then the husband and the younger one likes chicken. So I'm going to cook them both in the air fryer. I found the lemon pepper shrimp recipe on Pinterest, so I can link that below, and then I'm going to just modify it for the chicken because I just have a few little chicken breast tenders that I'm going to put in there and not use as much shrimp. So we'll see how it goes. And then I'm just gonna make some white rice. And then I have a freezer bag, steamable bag of butternut squash. And then I'm just gonna add some butter and like brown sugar to it, I think. Just to like kind of make it like sweet potatoes a little bit. So that's what's on the menu for tonight. So hope you enjoy. Come along with me. So I have the shrimp thawing per instructions on the bag. And then I also have, I'm patting dry my chicken breast tenders so they're nice and dry and not all slimy like chicken can get, you know. So there's that. I'm going to cut up one lemon and juice the other, and then I'm going to prepare my sauce. So the recipe says to preheat, there we go, to 400, and then the shrimp is done when it's pink, and then I'm going to check the temp on the chicken. I do not want to preheat for 15 minutes, more like 5 I'm thinking. There we go. So now it'll just preheat for 5. It is loud, sorry about that, and then we're gonna see how it goes. Here's what it looks like. Let's hope this is okay and something that turns out good. I'm gonna do 400 for 4 minutes, and then I'm going to flip the I'm gonna do 6 minutes. And then check it, and then flip the chicken and do a little more just on the other side. The rice is all done, and I'll keep the lid on so it stays warm. Next I'm going to do my steamable butternut squash, and that just goes right in the microwave. Upside down for 4.5 minutes. So the little shrimpies are done, but the chicken definitely needs more time because it was only at like 155. So I just gotta keep these little guys warm. I'd put some shrimp or chicken on top, whatever you want. Dude, the other people have to have rice. Shrimp or chicken.
Okay. Is it only me and you that are eating a shrimp?
Yeah. And then if you want to slice a lemon for it.
I just put it on there like this?
Sure.
No. What?
Put that in the garbage.
Mm-hmm.
And then you take one little baby scoop of squash just so you can taste it. Okay. Beautiful, buddy. So here's my meal. I did the shrimp. Here's the chicken. It looks really good. And a little shrimp if the husband wants some. And I definitely probably should have made more rice. Okay, that's our meal. So hi there, today I'm going to make some freezer manicotti. So the packet of manicotti I have comes in two like sleeves. So I only need one sleeve per meal. So one will be a freezer meal and then one will be a meal that we will eat. So I'm just going to go through and show you my process and how I do it. And then I'm going to show you the recipe and my ingredients here to start. And that's what we're gonna do, so let's get cooking. Okay, so this is once again just my Don't Panic Dinners in the Freezer cookbook. And then this is the manicotti recipe. And I am just going to make the single recipe today. And then, so you get it all ready and then you stuff the manicottis and you would just freeze them like that. And then I always take them out and thaw them. And then you just top with Parmesan and sauce and you put them in the oven when on the day to cook. And here it says just make them a little undercooked so they don't get mushy when you do cook them again. But sometimes I'll do like the bigger one here, but today I'm just going to do the single one. Okay. And then here is my ingredients. So I did buy the Great Value manicotti this time. This is the first time I've ever tried this. Manicotti's hard. Sometimes they have it, sometimes they don't. It's just crazy. And I got some ricotta cheese, some, as for Parmesan and mozzarella, so I just bought the Italian style. And then it does have parsley and then just salt and pepper and then 1 egg in there. Okay, we have finished stuffing all the manicotti, and it's time to have one for supper. So to get it ready to eat, you're going to want to take your marinara or any of your spaghetti sauce. I just buy the Ragu traditional. And then sprinkle some in the bottom. So there's a layer. And then go through and set your manicotti in there. And this is an 11 by 17 pan I'm using that fits the 7 of these super easy. And then you just take some more of your sauce and go over the top. You're probably not going to use the whole jar of sauce unless you like it super saucy. So you'll have some for something else. And then it says to use Parmesan cheese, but I only have this Italian style. You sprinkle a little on the top. And then when my oven is all heated up, I'm going to put it in for about 30 minutes. And then we'll have a nice meal to eat. And I'll make some ciabatta toast, frozen toast with it, and probably a veggie. Right now. Okay, so here's my manicotti. I got a little cooked there. I wondered why I had 20 minutes written in the cookbook. Now I know why. There's some frozen ciabatta bread, and then my little salad, and some grape Kool-Aid, because that's as fancy as we get. So there's our meal for tonight. So tonight we're going to have some Mongolian beef, and it's one of our home chef recipes that I'm going to recreate. So I'm going to show you the recipe and then get started cooking. Okay, so here's the Mongolian beef from Home Chef, and you need broccoli, garlic, green onions, roasted peanuts, steak strip, jasmine rice, soy sauce, brown sugar, and pepper flakes. And then here is the directions. So it's pretty simple. I mean, the most prep is cutting up all the broccoli and the garlic and everything, and then you just make some rice and you brown the beef and then put in the sauce. And I just usually crunch up a few peanuts for me. I'm usually the only one that likes the peanuts. So let's get cooking. So I sliced the meat into strips, and I just kind of have it getting all the moisture off of it like it says. I still need to cut up the veggies, and then I have the water boiling for my jasmine rice, and this is just what I found at Walmart. Okay, the rice is boiling in there. I need to reduce heat to simmer. I'm heating up some olive oil for the meat. I think I might need to put a little bit more in there. So we will see. And then I have the broccoli roasting in the oven. So everything is all cooked. There's the green peppers, the steak, and the broccoli's in here with the sauce. And this time I did make enough sauce. This is the third time I've made this meal. The first time was when we had a Home Chef, and then I've made it one other time just on my own. And I think I finally got it saucy enough. Made a lot of rice, and it's not as sticky as it usually is. And then for the topping, we just have some red pepper flakes and then the crushed peanuts I was talking about. So what I do to plate it up is I just put down some rice, how much you want, and then I scoop some broccoli and meat on top. And I like a lot of broccoli, so I usually take more of the broccoli than the meat sometimes. So there you go, and I put some peanuts on the top of mine. I don't need any more red pepper flakes. It's spicy enough. And so yum yum. Hope you enjoyed this supper. So tonight we're having the tomato basil soup with grilled cheese strips from the Magnolia table cookbook. And the only thing, I did use 3 cups of chicken broth, and then my store didn't have Havarti, so they substituted Gouda for my grocery order. So there's the rest, the ingredients. There's the recipe. And then I've done everything. Sauteed the garlic, boiled the tomatoes and broth, and then put in the cream and basil leaves and salt and pepper. So now I'm just going to pour it into here so I can put it into my big blender to smooth it down because I don't have an immersion blender. And then I have the grilled cheese over here cooking. They got a little bit before I'm going to need to flip them. So that's what's for supper tonight. Okay, so here's the tomato soup. And the grilled cheese is a little soft because I totally burnt the other side and redid it. So I actually have a nice looking grilled cheese. And then there's the big bowl of soup. And then the rest of the grilled cheese. And let me show you what my cookbook looks like now. So I've had it for 2 months, not even, month and a half. And I turned it into a regular Brooke cookbook. So I definitely needed an immersion blender for this because pouring it into something to pour it into the blender made a big mess. Pouring it into the blender made a big mess, and then you had to vent the blender, which splattered all over my cupboards, and then when I poured it in the blender, that's what splattered all over my book. Well, it's all curly now. So this is a typical Brooke meal, how things go for me. I make a big, huge mess, and then we eat. So that's how it goes. So, time to eat some tomato soup and grilled cheese. Hey there, I'm going to get my crock-potted chili ready, and then that's what we're going to have for supper. So I'm going to go through and just kind of talk to you about how I do my chili and what kind I use and the ingredients that are in it. So let's get to cooking. So the recipe I use, I call it Marcella's chili because that's my husband's grandma, and that's what the recipe she used. But it's actually the Bush's chili bean recipe, so I'll put this down below, like exactly what I do, because this is a little different now than the one she used to use, so I will list this down below. And how I do mine is I brown up my hamburger and my celery, my onions, and my garlic. I like brown that all up in a pan. And then I freeze it, so when I want chili, I just have to thaw my meat, and then I can put in all my other ingredients. So that's what we're going to do today. So my meat's already ready, so if you wanted to make this at night for supper, you'd have to brown your meat and chop your onions and your celery. I just find it easier to do ahead of time. So I'm going to put it in the crock pot. I did get my big crock pot out. I'm not sure if it's the big or the small, so I grabbed the big to be safe. I do use the slow cooker liners that you can get, and I buy the Reynolds brand, I think, the name brand. I don't buy generic. I buy the name brand. So I'm going to put my meat in there. And then I'm going to get my can opener going, and I just have one of these tornado can openers going on my chili beans. I do add diced tomatoes to mine, which the original recipe didn't call for. So I'm going to put those in here. Sorry about the weird can opener noise. And then, so I do 2 cans of those. And I just do 1 pound of meat, so if you wanted more meat, you just, adjust accordingly. And I do the tomatoes to give it so it goes a little farther. And then it calls for beans, so a half a teaspoon of Italian seasoning. And I don't drain my beans, I just pour them right in. So here's my other can of beans. Good thing I used the big one. It's filling up. That's what I thought. So now I'm going to start with the seasonings. So first I'm going to use, and I have two because they get hidden. So that's why, if you're wondering why I have them rubber band together. Just Italian seasoning. I need a half a teaspoon of that. And then I need a half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper or hot pepper sauce. I have cayenne pepper, but I like to use hot pepper sauce. And what I have right now is the Cholula. So hopefully, usually I have Tabasco, so hopefully this tastes fine, because that's what we're using. You don't use much, so. And then 1 teaspoon of chili powder or to taste, so if you like more chili powder or less, then adjust. I usually do a good teaspoon, not heaping, but you know, just a good one. And then half a teaspoon of pepper. And then a full teaspoon of salt. And then I need 2 cups water and a half a cup of ketchup. So I'm going to go get my water. There's 1. And then 2. And then I like Heinz ketchup. So that's what I got. So I'm just going to squirt it in my cup here. And that is not the most pleasant of sounds. Now is it? So I have a cup. So, ground beef, onion, ketchup, water, salt, pepper, chili powder. So I have everything. I'm just going to stir it up. And I'm bringing you over here to show you. So there's my chili in the crock pot, and I will just put it on low until supper time. And I'll make some cornbread, and then we'll have some cheese to sprinkle on top. So that's what's for dinner tonight. Okay, so here's our supper for tonight. There's my chili with some cheese on top, and then I had no eggs, so we have just your Pillsbury roll of cinnamon rolls, just the regular classic original ones. And we have a lot of chili for leftovers. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed my different meals that we've cooked throughout the last couple of weeks. Get some inspiration, pretty easy meals, so anybody can do them for a family, or big or small. You can always just cut back on different sizes on the recipes. So give this video a like, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next one.